Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you guys. This is Jaeshin Park. My name is JK. So grateful to be here. Owner of this club, Nelson and Brian, really dear friend of mine, and really happy to be here. It's actually our first time being at fountaindechopin. Such a beautiful venue. Look at this. And yeah, I didn't really check out any venue. I tend to do that so much when we're traveling, checking out the local scene, and I do believe there's always local masters here that maybe if you're not from there, you don't know them, but like they're there. You know, a lot of times when I was in Boston, I went to study in Boston, and I met this great drummer that I never heard of, but he only lived in Boston, so I that became my teacher, and I studied with him for many years and learned so much from him too. So I know this is workshop, but hopefully this will be both ways. And I know there's a lot of people. I want to give each one, if possible, to have a conversation. And I know this is one-time thing, but then we can actually aim for something together. So when we get out from here, we all gain something together. I'm sure we can learn from each other too. We can share. And that being said, very excited to be here, and we're gonna start with a song. Me and Jaeshin has this group together. Actually, originally this band called Deep Mind, which is Jaeshin and me, and there's three other people. Two guitar players, Hangjun and also Juno, and Young, who is a piano player. And Jaeshin actually put this band together. He's a secret leader. If you listen to our first album, it's under Jaeshin's name, and we kind of asked Jaeshin, like, can we make this as a band, you know? So we kind of stole from his idea. That became a band, and my first time coming to Hong Kong was with Deep Mind, actually, which was a couple of years ago. We played at Salon 10, also great venue too. And yeah, there's so much energy, and I know a lot of great friends here, but this is really great opportunity for us to really talk with everyone, so very grateful. We're gonna start with a song by Deep Mind called Deep Mind. And then we can talk. We thought it was better to just play first and see where it goes from there. Thank you. Also, there's a score we prepared thanks to Nelson and the team here. I thought it was a good idea to share the score together so that you guys can see here. Oops, sorry. Very new to this thing. Oops. Sorry. So that's the score. As you see, you can kind of read. Obviously, I wanted to just bring this score. We wanted to bring the score because you can see what's on the ink and what we're playing with. And I think a lot of times we're trying to play what's on the chart, respect the composer and melody, dynamics, stuff like that. I'm sure a lot of us playing many gigs or a few gigs, we always have chance to read a lot. And for me, what I learned so much was by playing with great composers and leaders and checking their scores. I think when I studied with Terence Blanchard, he used to tell us when you compose and making a chart, make sure you put many information as possible so that you don't have to talk about it. Like putting that much effort into the chart, I think it's really helped to deliver the song. Very simple A-B song. We play many times. It's kind of like our theme song. So okay, we'll start with this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Checking the volume for a second.
Yeah.
Is there a little... Oh, sound is not coming out. One second. Could I plug this out and in again? Oh, you know what? Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow, surprisingly working. we we recorded this album a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. We got some stems out, trying to play with what's recorded, so it's kind of one-way listening. So it was having fun with that. But first of all, how many drummers are here? Can I ask? If you can raise hand. Oh, okay, wow. Different instruments too. Bass. Oh, bass players, amazing. Piano player. Oh, hey, wow, great. What singers? Nice. Nice. Horn players, brass players. Oh, amazing. We don't have that much of a horn player in Korea. That's what we're missing. So very important for us. What am I missing? Piano player, bass player, harmonica. So this time, really kind of TMI, but this time we came here. CY Leo brought us here. This time we're playing on the 30th for the concert. CY put this beautiful music together. A lot of them we recorded too throughout the years. Most of it we recorded in Hong Kong too, and some of it in South Korea too. So first time actually playing top to bottom of that, except at a gig with Leo in New York. That was also kind of part of the same book, but on the 30th we're playing. So if you guys around, come through that. Okay, little TMI. Oh, that's great. Because I don't want to be like kind of all about drums. Of course, drum matters. I love drums, playing drums. I love bass. That's my favorite instrument to play. When I play the gig, like the wedge, I just put bass so much. That gives me so much confidence. But I don't think music is, or the instrument itself is a tool, right? Like just to have a conversation. The instrument is really important, but I do believe once you get to a certain point, is way of conversation with people, and we do all that, feel that way, And of course, having the perspective of your instrument is important. But a lot of times that I play and learn from teachers and peers, I think I tend to grow more of the ear from outside to inside. And I think that's really matter for listening to music, of course, playing with the people, coming from inside to outside. But I think throughout the time that what we should be able to do and work on is the ear from the outside to inside. Like one thing that I wanted to mention. That's why having diversity of the instrument player, really, really grateful. So we can talk about anything now. We prepare some stuff as a rhythm section to talk about too, but I kind of want to ask you guys first. It could be any kind of question to direct, because we have all these 2 hours to, we can talk about anything with the given time. We want to be able to say many things as possible. Although the more than quantity, the quality matters. But just so that we have this time, and especially workshop, I usually, when we're on the tour, rarely get to the workshop, but when we do it, it's usually daytime. So you see me drinking a little beer, sorry about that, but at nighttime, 8 p.m. workshop is very first time, and this is fun. So we can really dive in, and please don't be shy, and bring us some question if you like to. For that reason, any kind of question matters. So anybody wanna start the baton, ask anything about our age or musical journey, or what kind of string, what kind of cymbal. These are fan cymbal, beautiful cymbal, by the way. Thank you, Dina. Thank you. Beautiful cymbals. Oh my God. So we can talk about anything. I want to start like that, and anybody, any volunteers. There's no bad or bad question. I'm sure by your asking this is helpful for all of us. So anything, any volunteers? Anybody? Oh, nobody.
Yeah, I can ask.
Sure.
Just about the song
Mhm.
you guys just played.
Mhm.
Because there's the B section is kind of like a quintuplet, like
Mhm.
in a five. So, like, do you have any tips as a rhythm section to practice this kind of groove?
Okay, let me, because
Yeah.
Jaeshin also, I want us to be part of it, but
Yes.
little translation needed, so I'll just explain him.
그 8분 음악자를 그때 갔을 때 어떤 식으로 연주한 적이 있었을까? 약간 어떤 정도를 그냥 하고 싶냐?
Okay. Oh, yeah, clever Jaeshin.
안녕하세요.
Maybe time.
일단 영어를 잘 못해서 JK한테 트랜스레이트를 부탁할게요.
Yes, you guys understood that. Yeah, translate me. Yeah.
일단은 이런 5미터 할 때는 그러니까 지금은 이렇게 편하게 하지만 사실 이 8분의 5 펄스를 일단 익히는데 처음에는 그냥 저런 정보를 깔끔하게 치려고 일단은 스타트를 하고 이게 펄스가 좀 익혀지면 그때부터는 그냥 약간 플로우로 가는 느낌이 있고 이 같은 거.
So Jaeshin is saying, like, kind of very simple. Stick to what's written before even break it up. Like he will try to get used to it. What's on the score? Let's say 5, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's so many ways to imply 5, as in, you know, the odd meter. We can think about 2 and 3s or 3 2s, right? Like dan taka ta 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3, or 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. But in here, when you see the score, it's dotted quarter note and quarter note. So we assume it's 3 2, and then also the composer was like, oh yeah, I think I'm feeling 3 2. You know? Like where the beat sits. Like oftentimes I feel like we call it clave, like trying to find the clave in the groove. 5 8 2, like 3 2 is clave. Of course, there's literal clave, means, you know, there's son clave, rumba clave, like those Afro-Cuban Latin music. It refers to that, but also clave is like the bone of the groove, where the pulse is. So 3 2, Jaeshin is saying he will stick to, try to get used to in the body first, as in try to start from there. But then when we play, we have that, the foundation, and kind of go with the flow, as in, you know, then there's all this subdivision. So that's also, I'm adding some stuff after what Jaeshin is saying. That's 3 2, but literally that's big beats. I think about big beats a lot. It's 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4, but it's at the end it's 1 and rest is the subdivision where you feel it, which is so try to put that in the body first, I think. And for me, that big beats, I feel like a lot of times on meter we play 7 or 5. There's so many different way of playing it. As I said, like 3 2 2 3. Also 7, like the kind of very famous one, like early 2000 when Brad Meldau played All the Things Sharing 7, that became such a popular thing, and now it's kind of, I feel like, overrated. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, it was hit back then, but I think those like beats and those things, when someone bring it, and like after you learn them, I think there's way of internalize it personally. Don't want to be sound like abstract, but as in like you know, there's 2 2 3, and which is like we tend to divide a lot of eighth notes, but I think the way of make the sound more like authentic is feeling the big beats. So 5 8 same thing too. Oh sorry. 5 8 same thing too. like the big beats like daga 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 daga, like instead of da 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 da, I think about daga 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 like that, you know. Of course, subdivision is there, but you can imply this in any kind of on meter songs. Try to play like try to feel the pulse like bigger, like when there's 7 down 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 down. Let's say there's that pulse. Try to feel like da da on, or even half note da 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 da. I can't really do it with that. Like big beats, like instead of like dun 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 dun, like think about the like the big 7. Da 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 da, you know, instead of da 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 da, like instead of splitting it, like thinking the bigger beats, that you can, the phrase sounds like totally different when you think that way. I think that's one of the way to imply that into, you know, odd meters. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully that. Yeah. And of course, there's many grooves that you can work on. We can kind of demonstrate too, like 5/8. I'll be playing, you know. So this is 5. This is 5/8. So da 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 da. I was trying to put the snare in the second bar and fourth bar, like thinking about the big beats. And I can actually break more subdivision and put the snare on the, like that 4-beat 4, same thing. You know, when you do that, it put me in a different zone, as in playing. Like my pulse goes like this, but then when I put the snare on the second bar and fourth bar, as I'm thinking about the bigger beats. These are, I think, the tool that everybody uses. Everybody, even the piano player, like when you play the solo, you don't have to always play. You can play like, you know, thinking about the bigger beats. You know, that phrase where you feel the time like pulse, that can change your phrase so much. Something to think about, and I wanted to just throw out there. You know. Any question about the odd meter? You guys understood that? Yeah. Because I feel like there's so many odd meters thing at the end, like 5, 7, 9, like 11, 13, depends on the song. I mean, I do feel that 4/4 is most beautiful time signature. But then all this music out there that I like too, and you know, not just checking out 21st century pop music, which I love too, but like checking out the Afro-Cuban music, or like merengue, Venezuelan music, or like kind of Afrobeat, like Fela Kuti, like samba, bossa, Brazilian too. There's so many different layers. Choro music. I feel like those things exist, and try to find those pulse within, and there's one music that I listened to, which was Morocco music. Like, have you guys heard about gimbri? This instrument, it's like a bass, and those eighth note. You know, I feel like there's depends on the style of the music. The eighth note has such a strong character. Like for instance, like the straight. We're familiar with this, right? And there's the bounce, which is swing music or hip hop music. You know, but the merengue, the gimbri music, like the Morocco music, the eighth note goes like this. I'll try to play the eighth. It's like not really straight. I was trying to analyze it. Is this in five? You know, stuff like that, and more of those songs that I got into. There's different style of the eighth note too, but merengue, which is in 5/2. So I fell in love with those so much as a drummer too, playing all these odd meters tuba. Something to be aware of. You guys also, I'm kind of curious the music that you guys listen to. You know, I feel like a physical level of instruments, and there's a musical level of ear, and it's always when I kind of study and trying to get better, physical goes like this, but then if my ear is not there, then I have to always balance that. So there was a time that I really loved drums and only listened to drummers, and then I start listening to so much music through friends. Like that's all we talk about too, you know. I mean, not all the time. We talk about many other stuff, but it's like when we're at least making an album and stuff, and I feel like I learned so much from the peers by talking with someone. Like Leo too, he'll bring some music, and it's like, whoa, I never really checked out. I mean, I don't want to label it, but there's this one song like Irish music, and to me, I don't want to label like that, but that made me think about tap dancing, for example, and I was checking out all the tap dancers, you know, what kind of language do they have, because we get influence from the music, whether it's coming from same instrument or other instrument. Like if you're a piano player, I feel like guitar player, for example, they listen to a lot of saxophone. You know, you can get idea from so many different instruments. So same thing with the singers. I mean, saxophone, and then saxophone listening to a lot of singers. You know, trying to emulate those real voice through the instrument. You know, stuff like that. So yeah. Any other question? Any other question? I think this direction is really good. We had one question so far. Oh, hey! Sorry. Yeah. Oh, I think you're the first, so yeah.
Okay. So JK, thank you for coming. And
Thank you.
I have a question for you, which is, well, you're playing a song that is in like 4.58,
Mhm.
and you're playing what we would probably describe as modern jazz. So, and just now you just mentioned how like other kinds of music, maybe even older style or traditional music from other countries can influence your sound a lot. But I really want to like understand, like in your perspective or in Jaeshin's perspective, like the records behind you, like maybe Miles Davis, John Coltrane, all
Come
these
on.
like classic bebop or swing music. These records, do they still matter to you, or what was that? What was the phase that you have came through from like swing bebop to what you're making today?
Oh wow, great question. Thank you. I'm gonna translate to Jaeshin. Maybe he understood. 무슨 어떤 I feel like me and Jaeshin, we spend so much time together. because we play so much like music together. But also there was a time before this is TMI. Before I got married and had a kid, I used to sleep over at his place, and he would have LP player. You know, I couldn't afford them because once. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, okay. Once I think LP is like such a dangerous species. You know, once you get, it's like almost buying a pedal. You know, once you love it, and you can't stop buying it because you know you see the beauty in them. You know, and same thing with the album LPs and stuff. So Jaeshin had a lot of album, and he'll put stuff in very extreme genre of the music. Sometimes he'll listen to folk music from 80s or 70s, and some New Jack swing from 200 year. Also, we listen to a lot of jazz. I mean, personally, for me, how I raised up, like it was, as I said, drum was first primary like love into this music. I just love drums so much. Before that, I played piano, classical piano, which I do think really helpful for everyone playing piano, which is, you know, it's whole orchestra is in your hands. So what a beautiful instrument. But I feel like those music, like as in old and new, I think those balance are always go back and forth, which is really matter because of course the jazz music at the time was all about modern as in present is modern. Right now it's present, but it's we're living in the present, trying to cultivate that when we play, especially trying to challenge ourselves, trying to be creative all the time. You know, at least like I feel like all the people that I admire, like people like Wayne Shorter, always like trying to be creative. You know, there's another voice calling you, like people saying, "Oh, you should be honest when you play." But that creativeness and honesty is really connecting to what you know behind the head, which is coming from here. So rather, of course, there's different way to listen to music. I think I'll put it that way. There's a music that I listen to because I have to learn it, and there's the music that I listen to because I'll be on the airplane trying to go sleep, you know, and then there's certain music that I listen to. I listen to Ruvel a lot. Like depends on the period too. There was a time that I listened to Kurt Rosenwinkel, this song in the Star of Jupiter. There's a song called Spree Kiss. It just, when I try to sleep, I always put it on in the airplane. It's like such a beautiful song to fall asleep, you know. There's that way too. Especially 60s and 50s music, I think I learned that later because when I was trying to play modern jazz, like the music that, you know, that we all love, and I was trying to play that, but then there's always hole in my sound when I first playing, and then I realized it's because I don't know who Dexter Gordon is, or Hank Mobley is, or who Sonny Stitt is. Like even the John Coltrane, we love it, but there's a lot of different period of John Coltrane to early period, later with the quintet, quartet, Miles, same thing. And I feel like all those ideas always, it's always, because it's such a giant, like such a timeless music, like those pieces. And I say timeless because whenever you listen to it and you know that songs and you know every line, but every time it feels different, you know. Like I do believe those albums, you know, that we love does that. And so for me, simple answer is yes. I do think that matter. I'm still searching, I'm still finding new music from 50s, 40s, 30s, and especially with the friends. I think I found that myself, I learned so much from friends just by like bluegrass music. For me, when I was at school, my friend was like, "Oh man, I love this album by Chris Steele, check this out, playing with Yo-Yo Ma. And what is this, the bluegrass? Wow, it's amazing, listen to it together." Because of that friend, I fell in love with bluegrass. I feel like there's that balance too, which a lot of time Jaeshin always already filter those music he bought it because he loved it. So whatever music that he put on, it gives me so much inspiration just by listening to it. So like I think it will be helpful. People around you is like, well, what have you been checking out? Like I'd say that all the time with a friend, like asking for playlists. I do that to the friends, like, oh, do you have a playlist? Like the people I know, like Nelson put Aaron's music here. We actually came together last year in Hong Kong, great time. But he's like the playlist freak. He make playlists every time when he's on the tour. It's like, hey, check this out, JK. This is my new playlist, and we share that, and always searching for the new music. So yes, yeah, putting it out there. 괜찮아요. Okay. Any other question? Yeah. Hi. Hello.
I'm just curious.
Uh-huh.
Because I know you because of CL Radio, that song called Rules, and
Oh yeah.
it's so epic for me because the beat is so cool.
Ah,
But I don't know what
thank
is that. So I just I feel that very attack,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what is it. So can you explain a bit about it?
Yeah, when CY brought that song, it was like I remember he kind of had an idea. That's another thing too with the great composers and leaders. Sometimes they just kind of call you because they like you and kind of give that freedom and let them find their ownership through their music, you know. Also, Miss Leo for me is, I think, on in between. Sometimes he hears clear thing as in like compose. Also, he hears specific drums, stuff like that. Oh, I think I hear this. Then I'll try to emulate that too. And Rules, it was to me like it was pretty obvious, like the groove and the chord changes that is really about making feel good. I think that song especially, and Jaeshin, of course, he played something. I was like, whoa, okay, I don't have to play many notes, just play the groove, which I can refer to. I can think of Dilla, or people like Chris Dave, or like that kind of not really on the grid, but the relationship. This also connected to what we wanted to talk about, the relationship of the drum and bass. I feel like there is that different combination, even like jazz, like I'm talking about swing music too, or groove too, like to name a few, like people like way Ron Carter plays with Elvin, Ron plays with Tony, or like Pino Palladino playing with Steve Jordan, playing with Questlove. Like it's so stylistic, obviously in their own way, but then the relationship of their beat, especially that song Rose, we're not really sync. Not that we kind of went for like the ear and in the moment we just played, but when you kind of analyze those things, which like strongly comes from D'Angelo, stuff like that, and when you listen to those beats and try to listen those albums and just focus on other than chord changes and sing, like the lyrics and the general vibe, try to listen to kind of like listen to one thing, focus on one thing. Okay, let me try to listen to music as a bass player, for example, and let's see where the band sits from that perspective, and especially for that reason, like it was such a shock. I mean, it's such a great album, right? D'Angelo, Voodoo, everybody knows that album, Voodoo, masterpiece, and I think that album really influenced so many of us. Like after that, early 2000, the whole Electric Lady period of Bilal music, Erykah Badu, and the whole movement of like, I don't want to label it, but neo soul music. I think the Rules, that was in my head. I was thinking about D'Angelo. Okay, of course it's me playing it, but and also Jaeshin has such a wide beat. Like I'm sure you guys have that kind of thing. Like when you play with the bass player, or if you're a bass player playing with the drummer that you haven't played with, it is challenging too, because where the beat sits is so different. I'll make it quick. Like when I was at Berkeley, I play every week at this club called Wally's. We didn't really have any venue in Boston. Like almost like playing at fountaindechopin, because there's not that many. Like, but you play here every week, you know, and we play with the same band, same member, and there was this bass player that I played a lot with, and I felt like, it's like one of my friends, such a close buddy, and I felt like I could fly, you know, musically with him. And then I was playing with one of my teacher, bass player named Dave Santoro, great teacher at Berkeley, taught so many of great people like Zakai Curtis, Jimmy Green, Melissa Aldana, like a lot of, he's like a teacher. Like Brett Meldo studied with him too. But he has such a wide beat, and I was young, and I was so used to playing drums on the top of bass. And for me, as a young players, like younger people, we tend to kind of good at playing fast, you know, and could be technical, but because physically we are capable of that, you know. So I was so used to with that, but then when I play with Dave, I thought I was dragging so much because he wants to put he's trying to put the bass beat behind the drum, and he's used to that, and I'm trying to put it on the top, so he just kept pushing back, you know. And I was like, oh, what's wrong with this, you know? Like, and then I realized, oh, there is certain way of like let it sit through the groove, you know. It doesn't have to be lined up perfectly, but wherever you are in the grid, if you're front or behind, it's important to find those pause and groove and kind of stay where you are and find the relationship between drum and bass. I think that's really, and having that mindset and then listen to all this groove music, I think it might give you another perspective on it. And as a drummer too, I know it's very important. First role is timekeeping, obviously, but drum itself is not just metronome, you know. I feel like everybody has to be a drummer, you know. Like as in, because Jaeshin has such a good time, I don't have to keep time all the time. I can be out, and he's keeping time for me, you know. Musically, the balance-wise, which might be hard for Jaeshin, but thank you. It's really that balance, you know. Like if someone is a little weak with the time, like I feel like I tend to play more simple, just because I'm not adding anything, I'm not helping him. Trying to help the situation musically is to keep time and mark the form, because he's having a hard time, you know. Stuff like that. I think I'm more interested in those, you know, like and yeah, that little Dave story I wanted to mention, the relationship between drum and bass, and try to listen to those many albums that you know already by heart, but listen to it with that like a different kind of view, you know, and try to listen to that again. Yeah, it might give you something else, you know. Thank you. Great. But rules, yeah, check it out. Leo's composition. We're also playing this song too, with the different instrumentation. I think it's so cool. Other question? Yes. Hello.
Could I ask Jaeshin about his view on your answer just now? Because while working with the very good drummers and players, especially Germans, you know, you guys always go crazy. You have different kind of syncopations. You have a lot of strong beats. And how does Jaeshin, from a like instrument player point of view, still lock in and be perfect in time for the rest of the band?
롤이라기보다는 약간 저는 그러니까 물론 당연히 종국이랑 할 때는 알아서 이제 잘해주니까 사실 이런 고민을 할 필요가 없는데
Little compliment. He's like, oh, when I play with JK, I didn't have to think about that. Thank you.
근데 개인적으로는 약간 연습할 때 이건 뭐 드럼이나 베이스나 다른 악기도 다 마찬가지인 것 같은데 약간 저는 그
When you practice, it's all the same perspective as a drummer or bass player, but
아까 막그 뭐 베이스는 뒤로 가는데 얘는 탑에다 맞추려고 하니까 뒤로 가서 이렇게 계속 늦춰진다고 이런 얘기 했었던 것처럼 약간 개인적으로 약간 그 펄스, 그러니까 타임에 대해서 그 서브디비전이 딱 확실하게 되는 그 자기만의 그 기준이 있어야 된다고 생각해요. 기본적으로.
He's saying, like, simple way to put it is like you have to have your, you know, it's subdivision, and you know we all know logistically, like theory wise, but then you have to have your own, you have to have a confidence with the time of yourself. Yeah.
만약에 뭐 연습으로 놓고 본다면 어떻게 맞추냐라고 했을 때 일단 그 연습을 하는 게 어쨌든 깔려야 되는데 기본적으로. 근데 그게 이제 보통은 이제 메트로놈이나 아니면 뭐 레코딩하는 환경에서 연습한다거나 할 때 이제 특히나 이제 베이시스트나 드럼도 마찬가지지만 모든 악기가 사실 그 절대적인 어떤 그루브가 있는 상태에서 그 위에다 맞추는 연습을 하니까, 그러니까 메트로놈 틀고 연습한다고 하면, 그러니까 이미 얘는 이 메트로놈의 그루브가 있는 거고 나는 이 다운비트에만 잘 쳐도 사실 맞다고 착각하는 경우가 많아서 나는 이 타임이 흔들린다고 생각하는데.
Okay. Oh wow, that's good. So when we practice with the metronome, sometimes we trick our mind that you're keeping time, because metronome is definite, right? So we're playing with the metronome. It's like, oh, I'm keeping the time, but then Jaeshin is saying you have to find your own way within the metronome. If that makes sense, like I feel that way too. Like instead of kind of targeting like a darts metronome, you have to like, for me it's more visual, like keeping the time or finding those groove with the different kind of times, or whoever drummer or bass player you play with, you gotta find those like depends on the tempo. You have to find it. I think Jaeshin, to me I'm more kind of spontaneous, but Jaeshin is type of person, he really practice like all the possibility, I think, and he worked on it, and very very straight answer, you have to have that to be able to be free more, I think.
네, 약간 그래서 막 클릭 틀어놓고 할 때도 이걸 꼭 다운비트에 안 틀어놓고 예를 들어서 뭐 업비트에 튼다거나 아니면 이런 그 내가 절대적으로 생각했던 그 그루브의 기준을 계속 꼬는 연습을 하면은 이게 어쨌든 자기만의 16이 됐건 뭐 8비트가 됐건 트리플렛이 됐건 이게 꽂히니까 그럼 그때부터는 사실 이제 뭐 푸시를 하든 레이백을 하든.
Okay. Another way to make your beats stronger, putting the metronome not just in one, putting it on the 3 or 2 and like, because it's repetition, right? And in the beginning you might guess, but then you will find the groove, because really feeling those, whether it's 8th note, putting the metronome on the upbeats, or 16th, and playing the groove, like we like processing and doing those kind of practice make your subdivision stronger, and then by those process you'll find your beat, your groove and the pulse. I think that's Jaeshin's way of doing that, and also on the top of that,
혼자 드러머랑 같이 있는데 드러머랑 따라서 어떤 식으로 드러머가
그때 생각에 이제 이 드러머가 어떤 펄스를 갖고 있는지 대충 들리는 거죠.
okay, and then we on the top of that, because that's like when you're practicing, but then when he plays with the drummer, because you're of course, I think it's of course it's experience, number of the time and how much you have a gift. Like everybody has a different kind of gift, but we believe in experience. Like if you play 100 gig, there's nothing comparison with, one guy with so much talent. You can never beat the experience. So for him, by playing a lot with different drummers, he knows what kind of grit that he has, or pulse, or groove that he has, and he's adjusting it depends on who he plays with. I think it's really coming from the experience. I think by playing it a lot, you know what to do almost, which I don't want to sound like abstract, like just play a lot, but I think like we all are. I'm sure like if there's opportunity to play, even though it pays $20, like there was a time that the 3 rehearsal, you have to bring the drum kit. Is another town, $50. But I was down. I spent those like first 2-3 years in New York like that. Just play a lot, and because I loved it so much, thankfully I didn't really had to, it was only me, so I didn't have to feed my daughter. Now I have a daughter, I think about money sometimes. But at the time it was just all the passion, so I think I was trying to play a lot, and I'm sure Jaeshin, he was already playing when he was young, a lot of pop music. He plays all sorts of music too, so in that sense, he's so experienced, and I need to emphasize on experience, but you see the layer, Thank you. Any other? Are we? Everybody's following? It's not too boring. Yes. Also, we can also play two. I was thinking if the piano was set up, we could totally play two. Suggestion is welcome to play. I think this is helpful.
Hi JK.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I was just really curious because I really love your style,
Thank you.
and I was listening to the Tony Tissier's album.
Oh, Tony! Wow.
Yeah, Tony. And
Wow, how did you
because
find that?
there is a Spotify playlist called JK Kim. So, yeah. So I just
I had to
followed
practice.
because my friend at the front on the right, he made their
Mama!
playlist.
Mama!
So his name is
To buy the
Asher.
beer,
Yeah. So the first album is by you and Tony.
Oh man.
And I really love that album.
Thank you.
And I just want to ask, how do you develop your own sound, or maybe the flow? Because when I hear you, I always think I can get into the flow.
Oh man,
And,
thank you.
Yeah, and that's really valuable. And I think many drummers also have the same question. Like, I'm not a drummer, but
Oh, man.
for all the drummers,
Yeah.
I really want to know, how do you define your own flow, and how to get there? How do you
yeah.
achieve the flow?
There's so many different directions to this answer. I'm gonna just translate quickly to Jaeshin. Yeah, I'm sorry. Underestimate you. 형도 answer 하면 되게 좋을 것 같은데. I think. I mean, there's a couple way to explain this. For me, obviously, when it's like same thing with baby. When the baby is born, again, I tend to speak like abstract, so like a lot of metaphors. Sorry, I'll try to be in tune. like same thing with the baby is born and then try to follow mother's tongue and follow what mom is saying or dad is saying. It's like mom, dad, and then eventually you develop that vocabulary, and with the thought, like you're saying stuff with the the vocabularies that you already know, and then depends on the situation you're speaking and your ideas and thoughts, right? It's that simple. And for me, I think depend on the music, also drum itself too. I'm sure different instrument too. Like, let's say I didn't know how to play bebop, and I wanted to play like bebop, so I check out all these different bebop players. Check out Wynton Kelly, and who is Wynton Kelly playing with? Okay, Philly Joe Jones or Jimmy Cobb. And when I do that, like I went kind of crazy. Okay, let me tune it exactly same, so that there's less of the distance. At least the drum kit is similar. There's 1% closer. Touch is different story. I have to work on it, but like it's literally transcription. I think transcription really helps when you don't have a language, and we all do. I feel like there's no right or wrong way. You can do a whole transcription of top to bottom. I did that not for many songs, but because it takes so much time to do that. Now there's so much information on the internet. You can just find Herbie Hancock solo, footprint, boom, boom, boom. You can find it, but at least at that time, I had to transcribe some of the stuff, and I think just by taking real slow, and I didn't really do that many songs, probably 5 in my lifetime, like seriously. But then that process took like at least a month or 2. Then each note I was trying to find is second time or third time, So by doing that, and I think there's no shortcut. Everybody went through this, I'm sure people like Robert Glasper, like trying to transcribe Mervyn Miller, or because he loves Mervyn Miller, like, or like Kenny Kirkland, like when really in, really try to hear what he's playing, because even like playing blues, I mean I'm a drummer, but I feel like there's not a one way to play blues. There's so many different ways to play blues, right? So checking out, how does Herbie play blues? How does McCoy plays blues? Like checking out all these different possibilities. Same thing with the bebop too. For me, I thought I could get it because I came from fusion. I used to play so much fusion. Like I love Dave Weckl, Steve Gadd, Dennis Chambers, Vinnie Colaiuta. Sound is so attractive, so I followed that, and then bebop sounded easier because I was so used to with so many notes. But then once I got into it, it took way longer than I thought, because it was so much different approach, and the sound and the touch, so having those study, right, knowing what's the language and vocabulary, knowing that, and then after that, I feel like it's really what's on your it's like long run of like you should like play one song. Like I used to play so much standard. I think that's one of the way that I developed my style, as in, I mean it's also funny to say like here is my style, but standard is everybody plays standard, and there's so many different standards, but my rule was I can play Kelly at Midnight or Wynton Kelly, those famous albums, like, or Footprint, let's say. Like there's one way to play Footprint, but I wanna interpret it how I play it, and which is just because I already studied all those options of how does Tony play Footprint, how does I'm just name dropping, like how does Eric Harland plays Footprint, how does like many options. So I have that in my back, like almost like taking stuff that you like little by little from everyone, like you shouldn't be afraid of that, there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, I think the wrong mindset that I had it too, there was a time that I love I think it's okay to transcript and try to follow what they're playing, but then the ear has to be in the moment. Like, for example, I was really into Miles Davis' second quintet, Tony, you know. So I was playing with a group of people, playing those certain songs like ESP, some modal tunes, like, okay, I know how Tony sounded like. But then my ear was not to them, my ear was with the album. Like, even though we're playing together, but I'm still thinking about what Tony played behind Miles. And you know, that's not the right way. And if that flows honest with the honest feeling, I think, like, also by doing that a lot, I do believe you will eventually, you know, have your sound, have your voice, and also one more thing, record yourself a lot. As I was mentioning beginning, try to develop the ear from the outside, not from this perspective. So I think I record at some point for like good 2 years, record every session that I played, listening back, trying to analyze, oh, this is bad, this is good. I did that for like, without even thinking about it, for a good couple of years at Berkeley. And also recording too, I think recording is like, my focus level was so up, and it's really such a good practice. Even though, of course, you're making a record and thinking about all this concept and the story and whole length of the whole full story of the top to bottom, but that listening level really goes up. I'm sure you guys experience that too. Like, playing the live is a one thing about being in the studio, because you can really hear everything. That your focus level so goes up. So, like, you don't have to be in the fancy studio to do that. Like, it just simply when you're playing, having a voice memo and listening to yourself, and get familiar with your sound, then you know it. Instead of just, oh, you go with the spontaneous thing, you really know and controlling your sound. I think you're familiar with those things. Even though you're reaching for unknown, I like the feeling of, okay, trying to be open, and sometime, you know, musically too, I'm sure you guys feel the same way too. I'm curious about Jaeshin too, but sometimes when I play, I think about Jimmy Cobb. Sometimes I think about Vinnie Colaiuta. I think about my own version of that, you know. I think about, or like, I want to make, like, there was a teacher named Raul Peterson. He passed away, great teacher for a lot of us, and he was like, oh, try to make drum sound like a thunder, you know, stuff like that, you know, because I know it's not really tonal instrument, but I feel like you can do that on piano to instrument too. Like when you see people like Cecil Taylor like playing, you know, sound like a storm, you know, it doesn't necessarily has to be in tonal too. So, I'm like trying to go with all this direction, but simple answer is, yeah, record yourself a lot, and I feel like everybody goes through that, and like analyze you, like how you really listen to other albums, they listen to you and really let it sit with your sound too. I think that really helped for me, and playing standards, a lot of different standards and different way of playing the standards. I think those two things on the top of my head that I can think of. Yes. Hopefully this makes sense. Do you want to add style? I talk too much to Jaeshin. Any other question? We can also play the how's the time now? When did we start? We can just go. I love talking, so I can really talk about so much. Yeah, I talk too much too. Any other somewhere from here? I know I see a lot of young people here too. I love this. Seeing young people having eye contacts. There was someone that I missed. Didn't you have anything?
Maybe save it for the other round.
Sure.
Yeah.
Save it for other round. Something that I wanted to mention. Yeah, I mean, on the top of like many other things, I really do think like kind of like try to make the environment wise, like I used to do this all the time. This advertisement for us, right? You guys compose. Composing. I feel like kind of relate to what you're asking. Composing is another way to find your voice too. I think, like same thing with writing too. I wasn't really a good reader. Reading as in like actual book. I used to watch so much cartoon. I watched a lot of cartoon growing up. I love anime, but not really a book. But I learned that when it's also TMI too. But during COVID, I did a army service in Korea. It's a duty, and I suddenly had a lot of time myself. So it was one of the things that I had to do, which was writing a diary. And the thing that I learned about myself was, I kind of like reading, and also I like writing too. And also I think that relates to music, to composing, and even writing simple 2-bar or 4-bar, 8 bars, or just melodies. If you I feel like I do that all the time, with even going to ask piano, friend that plays piano or guitar, hey, can you put some chords on that? I think I hear this, but I don't know what to go. There's so many times like that, but I think the composing also really it's really fun process of journey to find your sound, and I think there's a feeling of playing your own song, and also listening to your friend or people playing your song, and they will also finding their ownership through your song, and how the song flies. We do it all the time. Even when you see these songs, you see these charts too. I think we Young wrote this song. He didn't really have a form, and by playing it, there's certain things that by playing it you hear the form, and we kind of decompose the form and stuff.
Yeah, I ask it now.
Yes. Oh yeah.
As a drummer, because I see this song is quite complicated. It's like a 5/8 and it's a 15 bars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's so weird.
Do you have to just count it by 15 bars, or you have to listen to the harmony?
4-beat harmony.
Yeah.
Is always the
Do you have
harmony.
any suggestion for drummer to practice?
I think the good thing is, first of all, when I see this chart too, depends on the people too, as how I experience it. Some people, when you see this chart, Young thought about this, so he purposely put 5-bar there, and then 4-bar there, and 5-bar there, right? Instead of 4/4/4/4, because that's where the chords result. And he had that on his mind when he put the charts. So there's one thing that I tend to check with the people that I play with, hey, where does chord result, or where do you hear one in the form, complex form and stuff, where the chord released, stuff like that. I talk about it a lot actually. There's vibraphone player that I play a lot with named Simon, and he's been he's one of the guy also he writes through compose drum parts too, because he used to be drummer too. He was drummer before becoming a vibraphone, and now he's like super into Brazilian harmony, like people like Toninho Horta or like Milton Nascimento, stuff like this. So very complex, like harmony and changes. And he does this thing in his chart like a symbol roll, which after the symbol roll always there's a like a downbeat of something, you know, like he emphasized that like in the chart too. But also naturally there will be time that my ear will tell, oh, I kind of hear this as one, you know, in the chord changes. Depends on if the melody and, you know, when there's a melody and then the chord, like for example, melody happen, the solo happen over the melody, right? Like because when we play melody, this is the melody and solo form is also melody, as in same chart. He didn't make separate solo changes or nothing, which is kind of very typical, like standard. Like I kind of feel this tune as standard, just because the form, the solo form happened over the solo, and way we treat it, okay, A B A B A, which is we tend to get familiar with by playing a lot of different standard songs, like very popular form. So to answer that, like I said, like I'll ask to the composer, or I'll hear it, try to emphasize and try to orchestrate around that, like melody primarily and then chord changes. Because when you do that as a drummer, the soloist really, it feels different. Like it really affects the thing. Like I'll tell one more thing. I remember when Mariah Schneider came at Berkeley, you know, because Berkeley also Hong Kong too. There's a lot of great artists coming here. Like she came as a workshop and we were playing big band. I was reading so many pages, like, you know, bar 452. Let's do the readings. Like okay, you know. And then there was a section where the charts are fine, but then she was looking for something from me, which she made me do it without my attention. She was like, hey, it's not on the chart, but can you just drop out there? And then they play the same parts, and what she mentioned, like, can you drop out? I drop out, and then there was a pause, like the claps. Music flew because I choose to not play in that section. You know, those kind of thing. I think like the decision that you make, like stuff like that, like by not playing it, you make them sound good. I think that also relate to why I emphasize on chords and, you know, stuff like that. Things really relate to that, and it's okay. You don't have to know it right away, because sometimes even though like piano player, guitar player, they will add same thing to the composer. You know, where do you hear one? You know, stuff like that. Especially with those kind of contemporary jazz music or contemporary music in general, I think, which I think is really important question that you mentioned, because that I still think about all the time when I play new songs. You know? Unless it's like, oh, pretty obvious, then you just do it. But if it's very kind of complex and you don't really hear the melody yet, and it's new charts, then I make sure I mark that before even playing. So thanks for that question. Actually, really, really important thing as not just drummer, but all the instrument player. I think, especially playing improvised music. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we have two more songs prepared too. We can play two, and those are a little bit more involved songs. Should we play some more? Or should I just talk more?
Play.
Play? Okay.
Play.
Alright, we'll play another song. This one, let me talk to Jaeshin for a second. Okay, this. This one is called Mischief. wrote by our guitar player, one of the guitar player named Sangjun. Sorry, I did this earlier. Oh, I erased it. It's okay, I can open it again. Boom. Nope. Boom. Oh, yes. Sorry. Oops. So I'm very uncomfortable with this. Okay. And then I put it, sorry, taking some time. Sorry. Okay, this needs to go. This. Oh, nope. Oh, wait. Okay, I see what's going on. This and this. Yes. 맞죠? Okay. This here and this. This is very awkward, you guys, watching me doing this. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can do this. Okay. Boom. Is it better? Wait. Could be better, right? Something like that. Boom. Oh. Boom. Yeah. Can you see? Yeah. We can talk about the chart a little bit. I'll make it quick. He wrote it like a piano chart, through compose. Piano chart, very specific voicing. And I think Young will try to play that and then kind of interpret with his thing, but you see the form? Yeah. So this is called Mischief. I'll play for you guys. that tune is like a metal for me. At least that's in my mind. Yeah, doing pedal, but it's really fun song because like a lot of it is parts that I felt like I was adding stuff, kind of trying to make the arc of it, but then the written stuff has so much information already actually. Then I felt like personally, like I don't have to, I can just play this, just the parts itself. But Sangjun gave me a freedom of, he didn't really tell me you shouldn't do or you should do this, so I think that was my interpretation of it. I remember he made a demo of this, like he likes to make demo of his song, and I wish I had it here. It kind of gives you idea when someone compose, and like just with the chart, you know, you can kind of see what's on the page, but also with the demo you can actually hear what the composer is thinking. So like he made like kind of game music soundtrack. I was like, wow, but it was so interesting. But that's called Mischief. I think we record. Is out. Well, I totally forgot. So we were doing some another recording days, and I know we were in Japan doing some mixing. So, yeah, Mischief. Any question about this song? Pretty clear, right? You guys can see what we did. Not really. And also, you know, also the idea is like once you play, like I think me and Jaeshin too. We can agree with this. Like, well, we're obviously respecting the melody and the chord changes and making an arc. Other than that, like, we're trying to play what's not on the chart. You know, I think that's always my role. Like, I'm trying to play that's what's not on the chart. Of course, after knowing what it is and be able to play perfectly, like on the chart, but then after that, kind of decomposing it, like breaking it. You know, you don't have to stick to what's on the chart. You know, this is like a reference of what it is. At least like playing Deep Mind, I think that's always gave me a freedom of, you know, we can like we play this very compact version because it's the recording thing, but we play like 15-20 minutes of the solo section. You know, just the one solo section, like D, that chorus there, I think on the third page. Wait. D, 48. Yeah, 48. I mean, it looks crazy, but it sounds easy when you listen to it, you know. When I got the chart, I couldn't understand. I remember I had to listen to them. I was like, oh, kind of makes sense, you know. Like sometimes I do this like when I totally don't understand. I play it on the piano, you know, and sometimes that really helps to develop the thing. Yeah. Yeah. It's on the. It's out on the album. I think. I mean, it's in 4/4 star. Let me try to play the recording, maybe. This no, you see? 1, 2, 3, 4. It says Jake. Melody. See, like, Jaeshin's also playing parts. Another melody. And then most part I remember it. I'll tell you how I interpret it. Okay, I can tell you what it is. Because now I learn all this song by memory. Learn the song by memory now. I don't look at the chart bar. Like when I first saw this, I was like, "What is this? How do you play this?" And then I think I had to personally I had to rewrite this part for me. Cause when he played me a demo, it was more complicated, which was also musical too. But like when I was mentioning earlier, like finding a big beats, and then when I was listening to it and then looking at the chart, I was like, wait, this is in like 4, you know. He could write in 4 too. I mean, it's not really 8.5, but I feel like there is a thing you can write easily, but sometimes the from what I experienced, they don't want to feel it that way, so they will kind of wrote it differently because of that clave thing. And I rewrote this solo section, like in upper part, which is like I could play that, but also I could play, you know, the bigger beats, and I think that's what I did actually. Well, it's been a while looking at this, but this is kind of crazy actually. It makes sense though. Oh wow.
Can you demonstrate once? Can you demonstrate once with JK?
Yeah, sure. But I have to look at this thing. Well, I mean now I can play it. It's just, yeah. So even Jaeshin is mentioned that like when he was looking at this, like isn't he more comfortable thinking about 4 in 4? Which we never talk about this, but kind of same instinct. That's what I was feeling too. But I mean, you can play it, but I think it's less because they're playing those parts. But oh, what did I touch? Oh, we don't want it gone. Cannot be used after shutdown. No. Okay, thank you. I have to look at the part. Sorry. Don't look at the So see this, you can really see 2-3 and 2-4. This probably I can think like 2-3-2 because kind of way he wrote it too. This probably 3 and 4 and 4 and 3-2, but next one, yes, yeah, 3-4, 4-3, and you know dotted quarter. Oh, sorry. So this could be like 3-2. Yeah. Those kind of things. There's a lot different way to do it, but natural way to do it is just by listening to it and trying to find the clave. And for us, what Jaeshin was saying too, like, oh, it's kind of easier to feel it in 4. I think that's what happened naturally for us, even though they're playing like 8th note, so they are playing all these phrases that are in 4, 5, and 4, and 5, and 7, but 7 also in 3, 4, and 4, and 3. Like it makes sense, and as far as I know, Sangjun and Youngho, they're so used to playing all this meter game. Like some of those songs. I mean, next song probably also kind of metrics there, you will see then there's because we know each other so well. When I see their tracks, like I can tell where that's coming from, and it's kind of familiar language in terms of the ink. It's like I know what they're thinking of. 좋아요. Okay. I can also play that too slowly. Maybe easy. I have to look at it. You should just play it so that I'm playing exactly what's the. It's so crazy. Relearning my parts. Slow. Like targeting, I have to take it. See, even it is never perfect. I have to. If it was me, I'll take it even slower. Probably tell them like, let me go practice a little bit. Come back, you know. See, it's okay to. I mean, I'm sure you can play better just playing exactly this part, but yeah, I think that's what I did. Like I rewrote the chart because it was like, whoa, so hard, you know. And I think that is okay. You can do that too. I mean, not just his chart, but sometimes I do that with certain charts that I hear. Like, for example, if there's a demo and I listen to it, it's like, oh, maybe I feel like there's a better way to write it. But I think because of the lines, guitar, and piano part, they wrote it like that because of where the phrase sit, it makes sense for them. But did you write also this? 따로 적었어요. Oh, see the big beats. Da. Oh, it's, oh, so he's saying 50 bar 52 is up. Okay. So I mean, for Jaeshin, he's thinking through this all like eighth quarter note. I'm thinking this part specifically. I think about dotted quarter because it's 3 of the dotted quarter. But for him, it's like da 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 da. Like, see, it's okay if the groove sits, and like finding different way to sit those figures. I think it's okay. But you see this a lot of times I have this kind of thing with so many different music, not all the time, but like interpretate with where you feel the big beats, I think, and it made sense for this song. So that's what I play, like the bigger beats. Yeah. Because I think it's really hard actually to play this. I'll take it slow, you know. I'll take it slow and then try to. Then I might be able to play even better. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But that was the song. Until that part, all makes sense, right? Like it's challenging song, but it's fun. Sound like a game music for me. I mean, you know. Any questions so far? I'm sure this even seeing this thing kind of right in terms of the writing, I think it helps too. Like looking at some of those charts, like way the composers write things and like very specific voicings and stuff. So yeah, you know. We have one more song too. We can play that, of course. But okay, we'll play one more in a row. Okay, next one. So this was the fun one. Oops, sorry. Oops. Sorry. Oh yeah, this one. So that there's no confusion, I'll close this, and this. Oops. Maybe it's better to open it straight. Is that better? Like, let's take a moment of checking out. Imagine that you got these charts. Alright, we'll play. This is called. Oh, what happened? Oh, no. Well, that was like a
Wait, it's me. Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back. Okay, great. This one is called YWL. It's called Matrix before, but now it's called YWL. Thank God. Me and Jaeshin is playing, so everything makes sense. But I think we kind of flipped the thing, but it's so hard to hear. But this song is also like so many not metric modulation, that odd meter thing. You hear like the short and long, and they kind of become a groove. So I feel like also is also fun playing just figure itself too, but we kind of like it's all about trying to get to the C part. Until then, it's just like, I mean, drum is fine, bass is fine. We're playing, kind of laying down the groove, but for the melody players, there's so many melodies through compose. So I remember like whenever we play, it's like trying to get to C, landing C, and that's the open zone because it's like an open solo section, you know. But also been a while looking at the chart. You know, I feel like, I'm sure you guys do that too, but like one thing about reading, that of course, like if you play a lot of gigs, it's okay to read, but like when you learn songs by ear, reading really matters too. I feel like by playing a lot of other people's chart, or especially for me, I had a chance to like play a lot of big band music when I was at school. So naturally, I read a lot, and by doing that a lot, I learned how to read, and it's helpful. But something about learning the music by ear, you internalize and you become really free. And a lot of songs that we, especially with the Deep Mind, I feel like after you learn that, you kind of, you know, how people say like, oh yeah, you learn everything and forget everything and just be you, you know. Those kind of things naturally happen with this thing. This is fun to actually get to show you guys the chart and see how we play. Think we get a couple more questions and probably wrap up things. So please ask us many questions before the time that we have. I don't know when we end. We can just go forever, as I said. Also, we can just hang out, chill. There's some beers. Any other question? Like anything about any concern that you guys have, or even the question, or life-wise? I mean, not that old, but anything is fine. If you guys want to ask anything before we wrap up things. Yes, please.
I really love I really love the you play with Aaron's the Little Big 3 album.
Thank you.
So I really can you share a little bit like how you guys make that album?
Sure.
I want to know like how Aaron like show you his music, like that kind of stuff. Thank you.
Oh yeah, of course. Aaron, I think when he plays standard, which I think I love the most when I play with him, like playing tunes, because he sounds so good on the standard. And I grew up listening to the album. You guys know the album Live in Japan?
Yeah.
With Thomas Morgan and RJ Miller. Amazing album. It's only on Sound. Yeah, Bandcamp.
It's free.
It's free.
I can say
Check
right
it
now.
out.
Yeah. I really like the album.
Clap for Nelson. But it's really amazing album, and kind of set the mood for me how to play standard. One of the album that I really learned how to play standard. So from what I know, when he plays with the trio, figure, or quartet, like standard song, I know he's very specific with who he chooses to play with, because he mentioned that to me. Of course he plays, but like when he plays standard with someone, he's very not specific in a like talking about the element of what to play, but just he's specific with people that he chooses to play with the standard. But then for Little Big, I think at least the mindset that I learned and how we kind of make an arc of the song. Like for example, it used to be I wasn't the original drummer. There used to be a great drummer named Tommy Crane. You guys know Tommy, a monster drummer, amazing composer, and he plays a lot with a lot of people like people like Ambrose, and like he's the one of the great drummer in upper generation. So before make that third album, I had to learn Tommy's part because this song it's almost like treating like a rock band, and that's what Aaron told me. Just try to. It is jazz, but like think about rock, as in like way you project and approach to this music. Think about patterns, find the pattern throughout the song. Don't just play what you putting on the hands, like and specifically playing the melody. Think about the parts, the kick pattern, stuff like that. He was very specific, and which like also personally for me, I internalize it, and it's like compared to playing, for example, this song, because we learn and build a song together. So whatever I play is the part that's gonna be the album and the music itself. But because Tommy played before, and I had to learn Tommy's part too, and still those songs, because now I know, because working with Aaron, he hears specific rhythms, each songs. Like a lot of songs that he composed with the Little Big, like he kind of not like definitely play the open. He doesn't get that crazy, but he has the clavet thing, I hear the kick like cool, da cool, cool, da. Can you play like that? Like I kind of hear it like, and then I'll play something. It's like, oh yeah, like around that stuff like that. He can get specific when he compose melody and harmony. He composed the heart of the beat too, So it was a lot of that in the beginning, and but then third album, which was all the brand new song, and we're learning all this song all together, which is the best scenario. Whatever I play becomes a part, So it was less of learning, and of course we had to work it out. I think Aaron is like that, from what I understand as a friend. He'll bring something and he has to hear it until he defines the form. He'll bring something on the table, musical, charts, and he had to really work out the form, and he decomposed a lot. As in, like, let's say there's an A section, B section. It's like, well, let's just start with the B section, stuff like that. It doesn't have to be always go with the ink, because why is written that way. He's not afraid to decompose, because is at the end it's a tool, and for him at least, how we build the arc of the Little Big. He'll bring the song, and we just record fourth album, which coming out next year. We just did it last May in Porto, and we had 2.5 weeks of just gig tour in Europe, and then we made the arc there, and then we took it to studio. But third album, we played whole week at this venue called Shapeshifter in New York, and then all new song just for like 5 days, and then we hit the studio. That's the album. That's on the third album. As in, like, we work out each song, and it's very specific with tempo. Like I remember seeing Kurt Rosenwinkel too. Maybe he got that from Kurt, but also it kind of makes sense when you play certain songs. One of the great songs, I feel like the great song works in any tempo, but also great songs, some of those songs has to be in the specific tempo, and I think he's passionate about that. And when I saw Kurt's, he was playing Vanguard, I was checking out the chart, trying to see what they were playing, and there was all this weird number next to the title, like 117, 138, and that was tempo marking actually. So even for him, it doesn't have to be that way. The fact that he does it, that's one of the way, and I learned something from that. It's like, oh, maybe that's one of the way too. Even he does it,
So do you guys listen to Necron when recording those
The third one, yes. There's not all the song. Like Fly Away, we had a metronome, but then Aaron didn't like the idea of metronome. We released it. We released the album, but then it's like, we should have never used metronome. But because certain song, like it needs the natural energy, and it's okay to be getting faster or even slower too. Like when I have drum student asking about swing, I love that album Live at Blackhawks, like that Miles Davis great album. And Jimmy Cobb sounds so good, but whole album he slowed down crazy. Like they start tempo like for example 100, they end up in 70, but it feels so good and it sounds so good, so it doesn't really matter. Like and he's very specific with the tempo with those songs, so we put the metronome, but then for him when he looked back, he was like, maybe no metronome is better or something, So certain song we had it definitely metronome, but not all the song works with the metronome. I think some of the song needs metronome, like a lot of pop music. I feel like it needs that element of keeping time and drive the band with a certain tempo. But certain song it needs to kind of push to, depends on the music, depends on the piece. But that was a process with him.
Talking about like bass and drum relationship.
Mhm.
So how do you deal with like David is not really a
DJ.
normal bassist. Like he's like
DJ.
DJ.
I feel like
how
the way I play with DJ is really similar to Jaeshin for me. For me, I think there's so much freedom in it, so we don't really talk about time, because we kind of know. He plays with he used to play with Solange, like Blood Orange, and so he played a lot of pop music, and now he plays with Terrence and play with Chris. So he experienced all this amazing drummer playing with Justin Tyson. And I know that language, I love that language. So with him, it just depends on the gig and depends on what the song needs. And I think as far as I know, between him and me, or with Jaeshin too, we're trying to take a chance all the time. Then other than that, it's like, what's the point of like playing the same thing over and over again, with this music, But certain music, like pop music, or like those, like even a little bit too, like just playing the simple groove, you might not have fun, but then when you know what the purpose of why you're playing that, it delivers it, I feel. So for him, it's just the hang and like, depends on that, like this was fun, But we talk about music and talk about different people, I think. Then up until looking for the exact parts of the song, whatever that song is, it's always searching. I think that's the process with me and him. Jaeshin, same thing too, I feel. With the, it's fun.
Are there any questions?
Yes! Thank you! We had an eye contact and I was wondering.
First of all, I'm also a big fan of the Little Big Project, so thank you.
Thank
I
you.
love the performance you had last
Thank
year.
you. You were
It
there.
was great.
Thank
Thank you.
That was so much fun.
I was curious about your view in give and take, because sometimes when we have work with frontmans or other soloists, they might be throwing out a lot of ideas, and some might just tend to be sticking more with the pulse of the groove of the music. Do you treat yourself more like someone who's throwing out more ideas, or more like a followers of ideas? Any interesting episode that you have to share?
Oh, this is fun. That's fun. It's really fun because that's always consistently in my head, I think. I can give you this example. You guys all relate to this, Like I can give you two examples. One is 3 a.m., 4 a.m. at Small's Life Club when I first moved there, and I used to go to all the jam sessions trying to meet people, and 3 a.m. if you're sober, you're a weird guy. Everybody's kind of drunk, I mean, there's definitely people that not drunk, like super straight, no drinking. It's okay, it's great, but like the hang gets kind of a little shaky, 3 a.m. everybody's tired, But then there was a time Roy Hargrove was coming every night. Thankfully, I witnessed that. Even though physically he wasn't really in a good shape because he had to transfer all the blood, and you guys know the history. Even though Roy's amazing, like he had a lot of drugs issue or stuff like that, but he always came to Smalls, like for the community. He would sit in and stuff, and he does this thing. Like I was just there, just kind of really young and trying to listen to people, and because it's jam session, it's up and down musically, and when the music goes down, Roy always get up, play one chord solo, uplift the music, It's very, like, to me it was like, wow, he's really, like, it's not about the ego, but that's giving for me, whatever, even though he would play just one note too, but then always, to me, was really musical and really for the situation of the music. Like just one chorus, he could just blow and going crazy too, but to me that was, even though jam session situation, I learned something of that, whatever music needs at the time. And I think we have to always seek for that. And second example for me was me as a musician. I'm sure everybody has this too, like ups and downs to yourself when you play. Someday you feel good, someday you feel bad, depends on the music or who you're playing with. And I share that. I remember I was talking to Kenny Washington, this great drummer. It's like talking about a certain album that he did with Bill Shalek, and I was like, oh, that album was amazing, And Kenny was like, oh, that was a good day. That was a good day. That was his answer. That was a good day. Sure. He's like, what about this? Yeah, that was a good day. So naturally, maybe even that giant, that level, like they have a good day, bad day. And then when I was studying with Kendrick Scott at MSM, I went there for like a 1 semester. Well, that was the best answer lesson, because also like I love him and he's such a great teacher. He came from that Terrence Blanchard, that whole tree of the studying, because he used to play with Terrence too, and Terrence like everyone's teacher. He always never miss. He always referring to art, like talking about. There's never a time that he always talk about Art Blake. That we have to learn from those people. I know like Leo, for example. You guys know Ted, he's Hong Kong's teacher. Everyone's teacher. Like those kind of figure really matters, and I do believe this music pass on to the worst also experienced. But like, while I know like time goes fast, and we're losing all these giants. I know Ron Carter is around, but we never know when they're gonna pass away. So same thing with like people around you that are elder, the people who played this music before us. We should always, if you have a chance, go talk to them. And I think I was talking about that with Sullivan partner a couple of weeks ago, because he was in Korea, and then we're just talking about Billy Hart, this drummer. It's like, oh, Billy was in the hospital. It's like, oh, we should spend time with him. But like coming back to Kendrick Scott, he was talking about our play, Terrence, like, it's amazing. And because it was a class, and each one of us, he was asking like, hey, what do you want to be better at? Because it was this kind of rookie question, but because it was a semester in school, he wanted to have a plan. It's like, okay, we're working this semester, like what do you want to be better at after, like end of this semester? So each one had to answer, and some of us were like, oh, I want to be good at reading. I want to be good at like time or something, And they got to me where everybody said the thing that I wanted to say, and I didn't want to say the same thing. So I was talking about like, I have good day and bad day. I have kind of shaky, you know. Good days are great, but bad days are bad. And he was like, oh, it was like, he knew what to answer right away for that. He was saying that, he was asking like what I'm sitting, like what's that, you know. It's like this chair, drum chair, but in English they also call it drum throne, you know. And he was like, what is throne? And my lack of my vocabulary, throne, what is throne, you know. And throne is like a servant. You're serving the people, you know. And what he was trying to say is that if I'm about me, that's what he was speaking to me. It's like, if I'm about me, I tend to lose. But if I'm about you, or for other people, I always win. That was his concept. As in, you don't play for you. When you play, it's like, oh, I want to play this fancy, or I want to play this line. You know, it's not about you. If it's for them, always listen for other people what they're playing. Oh, Jaeshin is playing this, okay, let me play this. Whether that's more note or less note, I think that intention is more matters. Like what's behind the note. And music is so honest. Like when you're nervous, you can feel it right away. You know, when someone's playing nervous, like you can kind of hear it. Oh, he's nervous. You know, music is that honest. So the intention of course, there is a good choice and bad choice musically, but I think just having that in the mind for me, that really helped for me. That hopefully that answered your question of giving and listening, like that, like a conversation. I think that thought about that. But yes, okay, that's the thing. Hopefully I wasn't jiggly all the time. I tend to talk so much. We can wrap it up too if there's no more question. I know this is one-time thing. Yeah, good. Okay. Well, thank you so much, all of you guys, coming to Chopin, Nelson and Brian. And I know it's the community thing. I look forward to seeing you guys here too. I'll come watch you guys. I love this venue. It's like amazing to have this place because I think people make the place for also place like this, make the community. So I hope to see you guys perform here. I'll come hang and lovely to see all of you guys. Again, this was Jaeshin, sorry. Team. Thanks again. See you guys next time soon, maybe on the 30th. Good night, you guys. Take care.